Donizetti went to Paris, where he wrote a fun little one-act opera called Rita. This was written in the style of the opera comique, alternating musical numbers with dialogue, and was based on some old commedia all'arte or something. Unfortunately, Donizetti quarreled with the management of the French theater that was to produce this, and it never was produced in his lifetime, Donizetti dying in 1848. The piece was not produced, in fact, until 1860, and then it was translated back to Italian and is starting to find its way, particularly into university graduation, because it's fun to do. Here's the backstory. All right, Rita, the soprano, was once married to a baritone named Gasparo. Gasparo beat her on a regular basis because he thought she liked him. Gasparo then got a little bored with all this, ran off to sea, and word came back that he was drowned. Rita, her house burned down along with most of the village. Everybody believed that she too was dead, that she'd been burned up in the fire. The other thing that was burned in the fire was all of the records of the village, including every record of her marriage to Gasparo, except one copy of their marriage certificate that she keeps on her person. This is still the backstory. Rita then moved to the town of Bergamo, which perhaps coincidentally is the town where Donizetti was sent when he went crazy to stay in the insane asylum of Bergamo, and opens an inn. She meets a tenor named Beppe and marries him. She beats Beppe on a regular basis because she feels it will keep him in line and prevent her from doing to her what Gasparo did. So, the first scene that we'll see is a duet between Rita and Beppe, in which Beppe, who only wants to get through another day without getting beaten up, is trying to please her by cooking her favorite dish, but instead breaks her favorite, well, in our case, red cup. Rita comes in ready for their regular Tuesday morning delight, shall we say, cannot understand why Beppe is acting so strangely and doesn't want to be touched, discovers the cup, and then you'll see the rest. The second scene that we'll see from this opera is a duet between Gasparo and Rita. Gasparo, believing that Rita was dead, had actually not drowned at sea, but had landed in Canada. The reason that Canada makes sense is because it was originally produced in France, right? Meets a Canadian girl, rich Canadian girl, wants to marry her, but has to prove he's not married, so wants to come back to Italy and get the death certificate of Rita so he can take it back to Canada and marry the Canadese. However, he meets Rita and realizes that not only is she not dead, but he's still married to her. And there's documentary, and there's a document that proves this, and she hasn't. So the only way he can get the document, the marriage document, and destroy it, thereby destroying any proof of their wedding and freeing himself to marry the Canadian girl, is to convince Rita to fall in love with him all over again so that she will give him the document. The reason he's doing this is because the trio that we're not doing, there's a duet that we're not doing just between these two duets, where Beppe and Gasparo meet, each try and press the other's claim, that is, after you, no, you can have Rita, no, you can have Rita, I don't want her, you can have her. They eventually play a game for her, and the winner of the game is actually the loser because the loser has to keep Rita. Gasparo is the loser, and in the second duet, he does try and convince Rita to give him the document unsuccessfully. Later in the piece, he actually does convince her to give him the document, and Beppe basically becomes a little bit stronger and decides he's going to take Rita anyway, and we have a very quick, happy ending. The first scene is Beppe and Rita. Rita is sung by Ruth Brooks. Beppe is Alexander Schlossberg. Stage direction is by Abigail Cote and Eric Jenkins at the keyboard. The second scene, Rita shifts, becomes Diana Blanchard. Gasparo is Brandon Lockhart. Accompanied by Ludi, and the stage direction for the second is by Sarah Witzer.
Ha ha ha! Ed essa, quale error, quando sapì il malano che la mia man orfes perditamente, Dio sa quel che la sua nel conceto fan di scrivere all'est all'occidente.
Prima
tante ne vivo vicini, mi fossi più forte, più cani da me, ma io l'ho piccato non qualche perché, ma sto più grande ora non posso disfar, mi tocco mi rolo e non lo so far, ma ritengo quando passa tempo qua, è cosa che è molto e